Hello. So this is the new certification that has been started by GALP. The certification is known as Sustainability Climate Risk or SCR. GALP has released study guide and learning objectives. The same can be downloaded from the link in the description of this video. This is a short primer of the very first chapter in this study guide. I hope you like this video and let's continue. So the very first chapter is taken from the book Climate Change, What You Need to Know. The author is J.J. Rohm. GALP wants us to study these 5 learning objectives in this chapter. So let's take them one by one. We know that sun's rays comes to Earth in 3 different wavelengths. That is infrared rays, visible light and ultraviolet rays. But we also know that visible light has the peak intensity. Also, some of the rays are reflected back. These are usually in the form of infrared and ultraviolet rays. But due to greenhouse gas effect, infrared radiation are not going back. Instead, visible light is reflected back. So where is this infrared radiation getting stored? They are getting stored in methane, carbon dioxide and water that is present in Earth. And what is the significance of it? Earth is warmer 60 degrees Fahrenheit than normal. It is conducive for humans, but it is not conducive for Earth. Where this heating is getting stored? It is stored in ocean. Atmosphere and surface are not good conductor of storage of heat. The next topic. IPCC, that is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It is a panel of scientists that collects climate reports and publishes them. They have released 5 assessment reports. AR4 was released in 2007. AR5 was released in 2012. Why these reports are significant? Because they are checked and verified world by world by government all over the world. So what are these scientists saying about climate change? They say that humans are responsible for all climate change since 1950, and scientists don't say anything in vacuum. They say that with unequivocal observation of global air and ocean temperature, melting of snow and ice, and mean sea level. Let's study them. So global air and ocean temperature. According to weather data, 1980s was the warmest decade, but it did not stop there. Then 2000 was the hottest year. Thereafter 2005, 2010, 14 and so on. So every year global air temperature is increasing, and hence climate change is happening at a rapid pace. Other aspect, mean sea level. So the first is thermal expansion. We know that oceans store large amount of heat, and due to this they expand. This results in increase in mean sea level. The second is groundwater storage. Farmers use groundwater storage for agricultural purposes. That groundwater then transport to runoff to river and then to ocean, which ultimately rises mean sea level. Other is glacier ice loss. Greenland is the second biggest glacier in the world. It is receding at a very fast pace due to global warming. Antarctica, it is the largest glacier in the world. It has 90% of Earth's water. In this chapter, a phenomena of Antarctica is studied in detail. So let's do that. Western Antarctica ice sheet, a background of it. It is a 2-kilometer long glacier beneath Earth. That is, it is much more bigger above the ground. What is the significance of this glacier? Like we studied, ocean water is getting warm, and this warm water is interacting with glacier beneath the Earth. The effect of this is there is thinning and recession of ice, due to which glacier is melting at a very fast pace. According to scientists, 2080 would be the last year when Antarctica would have ice. So these are danger times for Antarctica as well as Earth. Another topic, cooling effect on Earth. It is not that Earth does not have cooling effect. There are many cooling effects that happen on Earth naturally. Some of the prominent ones are sun's level of activity. The last solar activity was in 2009. Due to this, cooling of Earth takes place. Another is volcanic eruption. There are so many active volcanoes that have erupted in the near past. During eruption, matter is released from volcano that partially blocks sun and cools the Earth. Another is change in Earth orbit. So Earth orbit is changing with respect to sun. It is going farther and farther, and due to this there is cooling effect on Earth. But even though these three effects have been prevalent, the global warming is not receding. Why? Because of the greenhouse gas effect. Another phenomena that has been discussed in this chapter is known as climate amplifying feedback. It is a small initial warming that converts into large heating fairly quickly. Positive feedbacks are those that increases global warming, and negative ones are those that decreases warming. So this is the very first positive amplifying feedback. As the planet gets warmer, the sea ice as well as glacier reduces. This results in reduction in white ice. This is significant. Why? Because white ice is reflective. It absorbs more it dissipates more solar radiation. Due to this, sea or land area increases, which result in increase in solar radiation, and which result in more melting of ice. Due to this, Earth's overall reflectivity reduces. This phenomena is also known as albedo. The warming takes place, and as the warming takes place, polar temperature increases. This process is also known as Arctic amplification. Another amplifying feedback that was discussed in this chapter was that as warming increases, evaporation also increases, and due to evaporation, water vapor size also increases. some of this water vapor comes to Earth in the form of rainfall, but majority of this warming is stored in water vapor. So this is another source of global warming. Another positive amplifying feedback that has been discussed in this chapter is forest fire. Forest fires are dangerous. Why? Because forests are carbon sink. What is a carbon sink? We know that tree takes carbon dioxide and releases oxygen. So whenever a tree is burnt, carbon dioxide is released in atmosphere. And if a forest is burnt, that means a large amount of carbon is released in atmosphere. So this is very significant event. Another is melting of permafrost. Ice that is at top echelons of mountain and glacier is melting at a very fast pace, due to which global warming is happening. There is no any equivalent negative amplifying feedback, and due to this global warming is increasing. The next topic, global warming sources. In this chapter, author has used USA data, so I am using the same in this presentation. The very first source of global warming is carbon dioxide. We know that carbon dioxide is released when burning of fossil fuel takes place. It is around 90% of total carbon dioxide. Apart from that, cement production and land use change also releases carbon dioxide in atmosphere. Another is methane. Methane is usually released when there is decay of livestock. That can be cows or any other source of methane is landfill. There are so many landfill that has been developed near cities. These landfills have organic matter. Whenever this organic matter is burnt, methane is released. Also, some agriculture practices in the world are releasing methane in atmosphere. Another is nitrous oxide. We know that many fertilizers used in agriculture are nitrogen based. So during that process, some nitrogen is released. Even during combustion of fossil fuel, apart from carbon dioxide, some nitrous oxide is released. And during the burning of solid waste, nitrous oxide is emitted. Black carbon. Black carbon is a significant source of global warming. Why? Because it changes amount of solar radiation absorbed by atmosphere or land. Also, if it is deposited over ice, it reduces reflection and absorbs more sun. What does black carbon look like? It looks like soot and fine particulate matter. It is very light absorbing, and it is usually found in diesel engine. The result of it is that many countries are stalling diesel car production. Another source of global warming is wood or biomass burning, which also includes forest fire. The next topic that was discussed in this chapter was global warming potential. So the global warming potential of every gas is standardized with CO2 because it is the largest potent gas in the world with respect to global warming. So in this chapter, methane's example was taken. Methane is a very peculiar gas. Why? Because when you compare methane with carbon dioxide, in an 100-year life cycle, it is 34 times potent, but in 20 years lifetime, it is 86 times much more potent than carbon dioxide. So it is very dangerous in short time, but it is not so dangerous in longer time. Scientists are debating about 20 versus 100-year life cycle. Usually global warming is discussed based on long-term effect, but many scientists feel that global warming has reached unprecedented levels and we should think about 20-year life cycle. Missing Arctic data. Arctic did not have any weather station until 2 decades before. So the weather data in Arctic was recorded based on the nearest land data. When the Arctic temperature data started coming in the world atmosphere, world weather, it was felt that there has been stupendous increase in global warming. But some scientists then extrapolated the data from the present to the past, and they found out that it is not a staggering increase, it is uniformly increasing. Carbon dioxide is increasing at a very rapid rate. Right now it is around 415 ppm, but the biggest problem is it is increasing at an alarming rate, which is around 2 to 3 ppm. So this was the discussion in this chapter. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon to get notified about new videos, like, share and comment, and keep viewing. We will meet soon. Bye.